last stop game 5.
Dude, Cody's thinking about it right now, I think. Dude, I'm so anxious.
Opportunity for HBox. He calls it out, and that's gonna be
Wow. Wow.
He's like,
Stealing his moment there, Walt.
I have watched it. You've seen me watch it. I have watched the clip. Now, because for some reason, you guys care about what I have to say about this, I will now respond to the clip. I will now talk about, I have now watched it. I have seen Cody's tweets about it. I have seen HBox's tweets about it. I will now, for some reason, I'm obligated to give my take about Cody's pop-off on HBox for losing. So, first of all, that was really uncomfortable. Sliver, thank you for the 23. That was really uncomfortable. One, because Cody was certainly frustrated that tourney, and that may have come in from his pop-off some. Two, because he's really close to HBox. He's like right in his face. It's very uncomfortable. I mean, it's, you know, you're like in someone's personal zone, and like, you know, it's a lot. And then there's the touching they're holding at the end, which, you know, at the time we didn't really know why that was. There's a lot of elements to it that are uncomfortable. Also, you know, possibly to steal HBox's pop-up. Like, there's a whole lot there. Now, context real quick before I continue. Cody has tweeted saying that he had planned on his stream, there are supposedly clips of this, to do the pop-off the next time he lost to HBox. He was going to do it regardless of ledge grab limit, regardless of anything else. If he lost to HBox the next time, he would do the pop-off for HBox. He thought it'd be funny. He is like this whole thing, and that might have been what he was thinking about while that last stock was going on. I don't know. But that was something he was thinking about. So it wasn't like he just got mad and he was like, all right, well, I'm just going to screw this guy. I'm going to take this away from him. Like, he was going to do it no matter what. He talked about it. There are clips of it somewhere, supposedly. It's what he claims. The other thing is for the holding is Cody was like, oh, I was sitting down and then I was jumping a lot. And so then I felt like I nearly passed out and I needed to grab onto HBox. And you can see Cody's expression kind of changes. Like, it does look kind of different from what he was originally doing at the point where he was holding him. And, he, you know, like HBox was trying to move away and then Cody like kind of follows him. And so I think, you know, he was worried about passing out. So that was cool. It was also cool of HBox to, you know, not like have like an angry reaction to it or anything. And of course, HBox would probably really want to do his pop off, right? Because HBox really wants to beat Cody. I think Cody's been a big wall for him, everything like that. But yeah, so that being said, I mean, this is something that I think HBox really wanted. I think this is something that was really important to him. And I do think, you know, instead of thinking about this as like HBox's like big win, regardless of everything else, we're now thinking about it as like Cody's like reverse pop off. And I think for HBox, this is probably frustrating. And I'm not saying, again, whether it's a good or bad thing or whatever. I'm just saying for HBox, it's probably frustrating. Now for Cody, maybe he's like, oh, it was, you know, funny. And like, I thought it was just a joke between us and everything else. And maybe that's true. Maybe HBox does think it's just funny. I don't know. That's part of why I'd like to get him on Radio Melee so we can figure out what he actually does think about it. Because so far he's mostly just he laughed and he tweeted a meme, and I, you know, who knows, he might have just been farming likes or whatever. I don't know what he actually thinks about it. So, yeah, I think it's a lot. I think it's understandable to feel very strongly about it because it was an important moment for HBox. But it was also kind of like, you know, HBox's pop-offs have, like, to go to the other side of it, HBox's pop-offs also can really bother other people. HBox's pop-offs are, you know, very over the top and can intimidate people, and they can make the losses that they feel to HBox much worse. And you can blame, and again, if you want to blame the people for that, that's fine. If you want to blame HBox for that, that's fine. I'm not telling you who to blame. I'm just telling you that that is something that's there, and that might have been a factor in why Cody felt the need to do this. Not to get revenge on HBox or anything like that, just to add to the humor or the mythos of the pop-off meta and everything else like that. So, I think there's a lot of angles in this. So like the social angle of everyone feeling a certain way about HBox's pop-offs, Cody having pre-prepared this, maybe some of Cody's own frustration that came out in the way he executed it, then Cody almost passing out, which, you know, has its own strange element of like, you know, how does HBox do all these pop-offs and what is the health of players and everything else. You know, but I think regardless, like if you're a person that's listening to this, you're like, well, okay, you know, this is a little more morally complicated than I would have liked. What do I do? I think one of the best things to do is just like try to put some reasonable discourse into this. Because I think people are like, dude, Cody's awful for this. Or some people are like, well, HBox camped and he's bad, or you know, like he pops up on other people, so he deserved it. I don't. Again, I have no dog in this fight, but I think if people are having some takes like that, just, you know, like encourage deep breaths, encourage some discussion, and like, you know, it's going to be okay. I think HBox is going to be fine. I think Cody's going to be fine. Let's just not be hateful about this. I think is the most important thing here personally. Like it's an important moment. It matters. And there's a lot going on here, but I think, you know, we'll be fine. Let's just not be in a frenzy and attacking each other over it. That's my hope. That's what I would like for this to be, like some sort of learning moment, understanding different perspectives moment. I think that'd be really nice. That's what I would like from this. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but you know, I know everyone's going to have their strong feelings about it. Anyway, that being said, that's my take on the Cody reverse pop-off on HBox. And yeah, we'll open it up. Do you guys have any talk? What do you think about all of this? Is this fine? Is this a fair take? Is this an unfair take? You know, whatever. Could this be an example of a good idea, bad execution? Like if Cody did it off to the side, slapped the top of the CRT through a chair, and then faked passing out, it would have been fine. Yeah, I do think that the execution of this certainly changed the way it happened. But even so, people may still have been annoyed. I think the idea of both of them popping off would have been really funny, because I think the camera work would have been really funny. Like imagine they're both slapping the TV, they're both kicking a chair, they're both like going nuts. At the same time, if Cody did not pop off in a way where HBox could see it and stop reacting to it, then maybe the camera would have only watched HBox and no one would have paid attention to Cody. It's not entirely clear how all of that would have played out. So in this way, it made sure that Cody did get paid attention to, which was like part of, I think, the point. I don't really know. I don't know if I have again, I don't really know. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. But yeah, I think that's fair. But yeah, I think, you know, we need HBox's perspective. You know, we'll kind of see how everything kind of trickles out from there. What was his understanding of it? How did it end up affecting him? But yeah, so that's it. I've talked about it. You can't say I didn't talk about it. This is me talking about it. This is the talk about it time where we talked about it. We're going to try our best to now move on. I have given you my take. You can agree or disagree with it. And we're going to just keep it rolling. We have watched iBDW versus Hungrybox. We watched the end. I sat through whatever that was, and I have talked about it. Now we're going to move. Lo-fi back on. And pick something else to watch.